8. Just checking while I'm waiting. So good morning. I'm Judge Person. I welcome everybody to the online option of appearing for the municipal court, and I thank everybody for their time. This is voluntary but convenient, and we'll continue to keep it convenient while we can. Richard's iPhone, are you Richard LeBlanc? Okay, you got to pull over. I'm gonna take you off video until you do, but you've got to pull over. It's illegal to drive and be on video. So I do want to welcome everybody to court. And we don't have a big docket today, but I did want to check in. Who is the Samsung, please? If you could unmute and maybe start video and tell me who you are.
Oh, hello.
Hi. What's your name, please?
Oh, Isai Reynoso.
Thank you. And so just a couple of things that are good to know before we get started. When you're given a ticket, issued a citation, those are methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That's what a ticket is. It's an accusation. When you give a plea, you're giving an answer or response to the accusation. There are 3 responses for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Pleading guilty means you're saying, I did this. Not guilty is contesting the matter, and no contest means not admitting, not denying, just not contesting the issue. If you plead guilty or no contest, I move that case into sentencing. I'll talk about sentencing options briefly in a quick moment. If you plead not guilty, we're really heading toward trial. There are folks appearing who have pleaded not guilty today. I don't force you into court right away in case the matter can be addressed another way. So we do try to make it convenient, but ultimately, if the case isn't resolved today, we're normally scheduling the case, coming in, doing some pretrial matters, and then scheduling a court date for a live trial. So it's really important to understand sort of where you are in the mix of things. And then the other thing I want to talk about is if you're pleading guilty or no contest, the options for pleading and the options for dismissal in particular, and also the payment options. So normally, if you're found guilty in a Texas court, in a Class C court, which this is a Class C court. Everything filed here is either a civil offense or a Class C offense, and we are a record court, which is a limitation somewhat on once we go to appeal. If there's an appeal, then it's only on whatever record was made. And you want to pay attention to your options as you read through the things that the court provides when we're signing your case up, for trial. But what I do want to tell you is that if you are moving, if you plead guilty or no contest, or if you are found guilty at the time of trial, the assumption is that you pay at the time that you're found guilty. However, there are options available. We do have 30 days payment plans that don't have any fees associated with them. State law mandates after 30 days that $15 be added to the case, each case. And I can't change that because that's state law. The other thing I want to let you know is that if you're having difficulty paying, it is important to bring that to my attention, and we can discuss whether there are alternative options available. If you have a warrant, another thing to note is that if you contact the court with a warrant and head on in here to talk to us about it, we are a safe harbor court, which means if you're here voluntarily and you are in good faith attempting to resolve your case, then normally you're not going to be arrested. It's not a gotcha kind of want you to come on in. The other thing that I want to talk about is, I don't recognize that person, but I'll let them in and figure it out. I've got somebody coming in that I don't we'll just see. So the other thing I want to talk about is the dismissal options, because normally if you are found guilty or you plead guilty, the item goes on your record. And the exceptions are if you have something that can be dismissed through compliance, which you don't want to try to do at trial, because that really has to do with being on time and providing proof of compliance. Some things can be brought into compliance and dismissed. They're normally equipment style violations. And so if you have something like that, then, we'll be talking about it with you. And that will, oh, I see, you're a passenger.
Yes, ma'am. There's the driver.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm at work, but I'm not driving right now.
As a passenger, you look like you're very engaged. So
Sorry.
apologies for misunderstanding.
No, it's all right.
So, okay. And so I'm just very strong about that issue because I don't want to watch an accident on screen. Not to mention it's not lawful. Okay. And so then back to it, equipment violations are generally the dismissal for compliance. There are some different things, and what you can do is ask if you are curious, but you can expect that if you are before me, I am telling you, hey, this is an option. Can we get you there? But you're welcome to ask about it, especially if you think I'm missing something. It's your case. And I would expect people to advocate for themselves respectfully. The second option is if you qualify to be in a driver safety course program, and if you qualify to be in the program and the offense qualifies to be in that program, then we're looking at whether you can have it dismissed through that option. And I'll probably be talking to someone about that shortly. But again, you want to do that not at trial point, because it usually is something you elect to do at the first appearance, the first time you're before the court. And again, if you're pleading guilty or no contest, I'll automatically start trying to talk to you about that. And if you want to talk to the prosecutor about it, you may. Our prosecutor is Ryan Matson. Mr. Matson, can you unmute and just introduce yourself?
Morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Thank you, Mr. Matson. So Mr. Matson is the equivalent of a district attorney, and he is the district attorney at the city level. And he is the opposing party in your case if you've pleaded not guilty. So he's not your lawyer, just keep that in mind, but you'll have a meeting with him today if you have pleaded not guilty. If you're talking to him about options, please understand he's not required by law to provide options. He may choose to decide to plea bargain with you, but he's not required to do that. So if you're trying to do that, that's something to bring up if you're trying to do that and to see, where that is between the two of you. And that's just a conversation that you may have. The other thing that I would talk about is, so the driver safety course option is a way to save money because you just pay the court costs and not the fines. Every ticket has a court cost and a fine. And in the driving safety course option, if you qualify, you only pay the court cost and the fine goes on hold. And it's just sitting on the side. And if you get everything turned in that you're required to do by law, which we will put in writing, your case is dismissed and I waive the fine. So it saves you money and keeps the item off your record. And even though you pay for a course and a driving record, it's still cheaper than paying the whole ticket. And we do that by design because Texas is actually the #1 state for death and dismemberment on our roadways. We have a very accident-prone state, and we want to address that person by person. And a person with a citation actually moves into a higher risk group. So the law is designed to try to address that. And I support that. I think that's correct, but it is also the law. Okay. So I'll be talking to you about it if it looks like you might be qualified and you've pleaded guilty or no contest. Now, the third option is what's called a deferred disposition, a deferral, we often call it. A deferral is a period of time. It's like good behavior probation, except there's no probation officer. Sometimes there's a course due. We've got to sort out your fines and costs, how they're going to get paid. Sometimes there's a record due or some sort of document. And if you successfully complete the order, which will be in writing you will have a copy. And if you successfully do everything on the page, basically you earn the dismissal. And it does keep your record clear of a conviction. The way that you get a deferral in a Class C court is ask. So you can say guilty or no contest, judge, I'd like a deferred. You may try to negotiate that with the prosecutor and see if y'all can come to an agreement. If y'all bring me an agreement, I am most likely to follow it, although I'm not required to. But I generally am, I'm going to consider it every time I'm asked by either one party or both. Okay. And then the final thing is if you are in high school, middle school, homeschool, or a GED program, and you're heading to the equivalent of a diploma or a high school diploma, we would look at a teen court option. I don't think I see anyone today that I would be looking at teen court with, but if there is someone, I'll address it with them at the time and talk more about it. I don't want to take up time right now. Okay, so I'm going to start by moving folks who are here to talk to the prosecutor one at a time into the pretrial room. And Mr. Vinu Macha, can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
mute so that I know that your device, so that I know we can hear you, and we can. So I'm going to move you over to talk to Mr. Matson, and when y'all are done communicating, you'll come back over to this side of the courtroom. We'll bring you back over, and we'll just check in before you leave today, okay?
Sure, madam. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. And having gotten them started, I'm going to go ahead and see. Let me also, Emoticon Space logged in a few moments ago, and I just want to check in and see who you are on my docket.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Lyric Williams.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll be with you shortly. I appreciate you letting me know the name I have on my file so that I can have the right information in front of me just shortly. And I'll be right back with you. I'm going to talk to Richard LeBlanc, and let me get your file out. Give me just a quick moment. Oh yeah, I need to get that pulled. Let's see, Mr. LeBlanc. What I have here is we have a case where, let's see, okay, on January 25th, you paid $20 online, and we gave you automatically a 30 days to pay, because that's what I can do when someone does that. That's the equivalent of a plea of no contest in the state of Texas. Our officer had spoken to you previously back in September of 25th of 2023, because the warrant had been issued for non-appearance on the initial setting. That was January 12th. I mean, the citation allegation is roughly January 12th, 2022. The fines and costs are $425.30 at this time. I do show that you could make payment, and then you came in and asked to speak with me on the 20th of February, and we've scheduled this meeting. What can I answer for you? Can't hear you. Can you unmute?
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I got pulled over. The officer said I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. I was wearing a seatbelt. It's here nor there. He said he was going to give me a warning for the no seatbelt. Well, he did ask for my insurance, and I said, well, I don't have a copy of my current insurance on me at this moment. And he said, well, don't worry about it. And I gave him my old one, and I don't know what he did with it. He gave me a warning for the seatbelt, and he said I didn't have to show up to court. I didn't show up to court because he told me not to. And that's when I got the warrant in the mail, and I called, and they said I have a warrant for no insurance. And I'm like, well, I had insurance. And so it's my fault for not taking care of it sooner than what I did. But I did have insurance, and that's why I was wanting to schedule a meeting, because you should have a copy of my insurance that I did have.
Give me a moment. I'm pulling everything up. Hold on. I've got it all here. I just need to get my system to.
Because if I knew I had to come to court, I would have came to court.
Well, it's normally on the citations, so I'm pulling that first to look at it because it's on there.
But in the state of Texas, when you run the license plate, it does show the insurance that you have. Or
Yeah,
I thought
generally, yes. Generally, yes, but
because
it's not a perfect system.
okay, that is perfect.
Um, hold on just a moment. Let me move Mr. Matson forward.
Okay,
I've got the ticket pulled up. Don't worry. I'm going to show it to him on the screen. Let's see. And let me move Mr. Macha back over and let me find that file. Are they all just in here? Okay. Okay, so Mr. Matson and Mr. Macha, let me hear from you both.
Your Honor, we've reached an agreement on terms of deferral.
Okay,
Those terms are going to be a 120-day period with a 6-hour course due by day 60. And Mr. Macha has indicated he can make payment in full.
is that today?
Yes, ma'am, I can pay today.
Okay. All right, so the way that it's going to read, and I'm going to ask you, Mr. Macha, can I send this to the email that we used to set the meeting up today and have you print it, sign it, and email it back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So it will read from today until July 3rd. You're on a deferral with payment today. You can do that online or you can do that by phone. Either way, with the clerk, they can do it by phone, or you can go onto our website, go to the municipal courts tab, and there's a way to do payment there. And then a course due, and we'll send with the deferred order information to how to find the proper course. But that course due no later than May 7th. No need to wait. You can do it tomorrow, but that's our drop dead date, as they say. And so my question is, do you have any questions?
No, madam. Thank you for you and for Ryan for considering me for the deferred.
Deferreds are handy. They do actually help regular folks keep their records clean.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed, unfortunately, on CDL holders, but I don't believe you are one. And so I just signed that and it's going to be emailed to you shortly. Okay.
Okay, thank you, madam.
So keep an eye on your email. We'll look for it to come back today. Do you have any further questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then I'm going to let you hang up. Okay.
Okay,
Unless you
thanks.
want to stay on. Okay.
No, thanks to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Matson, I'm going to move you forward. And your next person is actually Mr. Mr. Reynoso. And let me get you to unmute. Perfect. Can you say hello?
Hello.
Thank you. Okay. Just want to make sure we've got audio working, and I'll move you over to that meeting now. Okay. Now, Mr. LeBlanc,
Yes, ma'am.
let me see if I can show you what I'm looking at. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so here's the ticket, and he did warn you on the seatbelt. He did write you for the insurance, and he did give you a court date. And then when you did not appear, we actually used the address that was provided at the time of the stop. We sent a letter to that email. It's just a courtesy letter. It's not legally a thing, but we do that because I do that before I like to do a warrant. And you know, down here it always says you're hereby notified to appear before the court of the city of Temple. And then, you know, I hereby promise to appear, and then
Well,
you sign it.
I don't have my
Let me just finish what I'm telling you. So
okay.
once we do that, I mean, that's, you know, that's kind of, I mean, what else can we do but follow the law, sir? So then
Yes.
the next thing that happened is that letter went out. And then the next thing that happened was a warrant went out. And the next thing that happened was an officer contacted you. And then finally, about let me see. 2 years later, you did contact the court, a little over. But a month before that, you made a payment online. And in Texas, that is a plea of no contest. And that became final 10 days later. And here, yeah, here we are. So I don't have options available for you other than payment options.
No, I'm okay with paying it. I don't have no problem with it. I got a letter from the Department of Public Safety. I'm a CDL holder,
Yes,
and they were talking about suspending my license, even though I had insurance. It's my fault for not. Well, for one, I moved and I didn't get the warrant in the mail. On the ticket on the backside, I couldn't read it. I don't have the ticket now. I could be in my storage in my paperwork. But I did move, so it is my fault for not taking care of it sooner than what I did. Um, I would have came to court, but I'm just worried about getting my CDL suspended. So how do
yeah,
I go about doing that? I
yeah,
don't mind paying the ticket.
yeah. Whether you pay the ticket or not is not gonna affect what you are dealing with over there at this point. I mean, if they're using the plea of no contest against you, which is what payment is, a no contest plea on a charge. Okay. So your plea was no contest and you have proof that you were insured, presumably. And I don't do license suspensions. So that's not really my, my lane. I'm not able to give legal advice about that either, but you might want to contact an attorney who specifies in licenses. What I need to ask you in order to deal with, do we have a warrant right now or did I pull it? Okay, I did pull the warrant out so that it wouldn't continue because we had a setting and I viewed that as a good faith movement. So my question is really, how soon are you able to make payment so that we can complete our business?
Do you want the payment in full, or how can I do that?
Preferably, yes, since it's been 2 years.
Okay. What's the remainder amount?
Right now, it's at 425.30. Fees got added for time.
425.30. I can say by the end of the month, I can have it all paid in full.
I can send a promise to pay to you. It's the 5th, so you're saying by the, I'm just looking.
At least by the end of the month.
Right. Sorry. So March 28th, 29th, you can get that done.
Yes.
So they'll send you something that says, that you're promising to pay by that date. And if you get it back to us today, it keeps the case from going to having any further fees get added. Okay,
That's fine.
okay. So can we email to the email that you have on file that we used for this meeting? Okay,
Yes.
we'll send that to you. And the issue of the license suspension is with DPS. So I don't have the ability. I'm not not a DPS court. You'll have to get with them about it. My understanding is that they might be interested in looking at, the fact that you were insured. So you may show that to them. I don't know.
They don't. I've already paid them. I've already got them an SR-22 just in case. And the reinstatement fee. But I figured, can I ask one thing? Can there be better copies of the ticket that the driver gets, because you can't read nothing on it?
Yeah. So one thing I want to tell you about that is I'm perfectly aware that legally they give you like a carbon copy. Our number and our website though is printed directly on that so that people can contact the court. And you always want to, and I want to encourage you to contact courts when you get tickets. And we'll encourage you to contact DPS and not miss any hearings that they set you for.
I mean, I would have contacted the court if the cop did his job fully.
Well, I wasn't there, and that recording is quite old, sir, because you've waited 26 months to contact the court since you were stopped.
No, yeah, I'm guilty of that. being late on it. But
When you're handed a copy of a ticket, the assumption under the law is that you will do your due diligence.
well, he said I didn't have to report in court because it was a
No
warning. So
lawyer. He's no lawyer, but he did hand you a ticket, sir.
okay, but I'm telling you that he told me I didn't have to report to court. Otherwise, I
I hear
would
what
have.
you're saying, but I'm really going to stop the line of questioning that you're giving me because I'm not
You're
on.
fine.
So I'm going
You're
to
fine.
stop that now, and I will talk to you maybe if you write me. Okay. Yeah, we'll send that to you, but I'm not going to continue further on this. You're good to go when you're ready. Mr. Matson, let me check in with you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, Judge.
Yes.
Judge, I was hoping we could reset for 2 weeks out to give Mr. Reynoso a bit more time to get some documents together.
Of course. Are we going to meet online or in court?
Online is fine with me unless he has an objection to it.
Mr. Reynoso, are you okay with that online?
Yeah, I can do online.
Which is better for you?
Yes. Online.
Okay, so I have one spot available for March 26th. Will that work for both parties?
That should be fine, Judge.
Okay, we're going to send that notice to the email that we have on file. Will that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, is March 26th a Zoom court docket?
Let me double check. I have it down as such. Give me a moment. Okay, this says March 26th right here for Zoom. It's wrong. Okay. I have some wrong information. So the 19th of March. Is that right?
That's
Well,
what I have on my calendar, Your Honor.
Will that work for both of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I will have to fix the error over here. But Mr. Reynoso, we will send that to you on your email, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Matson, let's see. I think that's going to be all for you, and we will see you here this afternoon or this morning for that hearing that we have at, I guess it's at 11. I haven't looked at the calendar, but I think it's at 11. Let's see.
I believe I will be seeing you at 10:30, Judge.
10:30. We'll be here.
Alrighty. See you shortly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, and so Ms. Williams, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
I'm okay. I just dropped my daughter off at daycare for the first time, so
Oh my goodness, that's always a lot of pictures and tears.
man, and she was perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, they love it. They love to go. We're the ones that sweat it. They are like, so
Yeah.
yeah. So listen, let me tell you where we are. Right now we have a case and it's a handicap parking charge. And it's alleged for December 23rd of 2023. I did receive a plea of no contest. And I guess I had a question. Do you have a handicap placard?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay, so you're wanting to look at options and oh, you're applying for the city of Temple. Yay. It's a great place to work.
Yes,
You're a
ma'am.
full-time student. Okay, and so you've got business with the court and you're trying to figure out what you can do to resolve this matter. So looking at your financial situation, what I normally would do would be to order community service. And, you know, if I give it to you today and you turn it in next week, we're done. It doesn't, I'm going to give you a deadline, but there's no waiting for the deadline. It would just be getting it done, you know, and turning it in and us verifying it.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
it's 26 hours. And right now, I would ask, do you have any disabilities that I would need to take into account in setting a deadline? Or that would,
But physical ailments?
right, anything
No,
that would prevent you from doing the work.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I would just set that for 26 hours. There's two ways to get this packet of information to you, but I need a signature on one sheet. And it just says if you pick the city of Temple as one of the providers that you use, they don't have coverage if you're injured, and you just sign saying you know that. Then I give you a list of places to choose from that you can, where you can do the work. You can do them all in one place, or you can pick multiple places, but I need a timesheet for each place. And it's just getting those hours done, picking a place off the options list. You can do it, like while your kids are in school, for example, and just call around and see what's going to work with your schedule. I'll let you do that part. And then, get the hours done, get them signed off on by the provider and turn them in. And I zero out your balance and you're done.
Okay. And
So-
so until I finish those, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know the hiring practice. I don't know if they're going to say you have to clear with us, or they just are going to say you need to be in the process of resolving it. I don't know the answer.
Oh, no, ma'am, that's not what I was gonna ask. What I was gonna ask is so the balance will show due until I finish those 26 hours and turn it into you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it possible that I could get those hours done if I start maybe today or tomorrow to get those done before the 10th?
I mean, it's up to you how long it takes you. You just need to get the list that we give you and start looking for the opportunities. So why don't you come by the office?
My apologies. I didn't hear anything you said. My son's school was calling.
Oh, okay. I wondered. I saw you kind of buzz in and out. Okay. So your quickest route, okay, is to come by the building here, the court, to pick everything up, because I've got a timesheet, a list of rules, a list of places, that waiver that you need to sign. I can email it to you if you can print the signature part out, if you can print it out at home. So it's
Okay.
which is going to work better for you.
I'll come by.
Okay. What time will we look for you?
Um, I'm here.
Oh, perfect. Then in about 2 to 3
I
minutes.
need to print it off again.
Okay. You printed what?
I needed the information. I couldn't find the Zoom link. That's why I was a little bit late.
That's okay.
And so I needed to come have it printed off.
That's not a problem. If you're are you in the lobby?
Yes.
Okay. We can get the information to you. Are you sitting with a clerk?
No, ma'am, I left her desk.
Okay, that's fine. Just any clerk can help you. You can walk back up to the one you were working with and tell
Okay.
them that you just met with me and the notes are in the file and we're printing everything up. So they'll come get it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll
And
be done shortly.
and how will this reflect on my driver's record?
Yeah, so it is a conviction on the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to get another one because the fine goes up considerably. These are mandated fines by state law.
You don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, it just sometimes things are not clear or whatever, I don't know, but yeah. So we'll print everything and they'll come get it in a short moment, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. You're good to hang up, okay?
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.